My name is Brady Jolly. This is the Meet the Team podcast with Jolly Plumbing, Drains, Heating, and Air, and I'm with my friend Shawn Ackerson. He is one of our sewer advisors. On a daily basis, he is sticking cameras down sewer lines and finding solutions for customers on how to fix their sewer. So thanks for being here, man.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
So you were just telling me you already sold a liner job to a customer today.
Yep.
That's awesome, man.
Yep.
What happened? What was that job?
So it was just full outside. They full of roots. They're just plumb full, which is pretty much everybody in this area at this point with an old house. So, she just needed it done. I think she just bought the house like last year, a couple years ago. So I think she needed a little bit of time to think about it. Now she's ready to move forward and get it going.
So what kind of solution did we give her?
Full sewer liner. So she's getting the full entire outside lined, and then we're also lining back into the house about like 20 feet. Yeah.
Great, man.
Yeah.
That's good. Cool. All right. So normally what we do, let's start with just personal life, what you do for fun, talk about your family, where you live, all that sort of stuff.
So I live off of over in Crescent Springs. Married for 2 years now. Best wife in the world. I know she'll watch this, so I gotta make sure. Anyway, it's been great. We have just 2 dogs. On Saturday.
Not for long.
On
right?
Saturday, we're getting induced on Saturday. So first boy's gonna be here.
Amazing, man.
Yeah. So super excited for that. It's been tough to keep the mind on both things. It's like, all right, ready to do this, but no, it's been awesome.
I know we've talked a lot about it, man. How are you feeling about it?
I'm good. I was very nervous for a while there. I think it's just more of ready to get it over with. Let's get it in here. Let's get the ball rolling and learn everything I know I don't know.
You're gonna crush it, dude. You're
No,
gonna be a good
appreciate
dad.
it. Yeah.
It's like the best thing in the world.
Yeah,
You're gonna love
I'm
it.
excited.
That's
Yeah.
awesome, man. Well, cool. So you only have a couple more days of work till you're off for a little bit with the new baby.
Yep. But
Sweet.
I'm only gonna take off 2, and I'm back at it, and we're ready to roll. Yep.
Sweet. So you've been here for now how long?
2.5 years now. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And why did you decide to? I know your background. You've had some kind of trade experience in your background, but before you were here, why did you decide to get in the trades? And tell us a little bit about what you were doing.
So before, I was doing like maintenance for apartments and condos and stuff, and became a manager of overseeing different properties and stuff like that. And then Molly, who's the HR down here, she's a real good friend of mine. So I had reached out to her a while ago, and I said, if something pops up with HVAC, let me know down in Jolly. She's like, yeah, we'll do. And months went by, and she goes, I got a job for you. And then she goes, here, apply to it. I'm like, this is not for HVAC. Yeah. And she's like, trust me, just come in for an interview, feel it out. And then she told me, it's sewer and it's poop, and I'm like, you're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. But it's turned. It really was. It's not that big a deal. Once I was in the condos and apartment maintenance, I saw everything you could see. So this is nothing. So I think it was a good fit. I think I like this honestly 10 times better. Just being able to. I think the issues people have, when your cooling goes out, that's one thing. It's hot, open a window, but when there's sewage in your basement, you really don't want to live there anymore. So you kind of feel like a superhero sometimes when you come in and you get to save the day for them.
You're dealing with people, with customers, when they just went through maybe the biggest issue in their home that they'll ever go through. Yep. Most people go their whole life and never have to replace a sewer.
Right.
If you're lucky, you never have to replace a sewer. When you do, it's a major deal. It's one of the biggest jobs we do here, right? So talk about, what your process is like to make sure that the customer knows, hey, you called the right people.
Right.
We've got your back. We can handle this. I'm your guy.
Right.
I can find your solution. Like, what do you do to try to get people down to the level, calm them down, and make sure they know we got their back?
That is definitely probably the biggest thing, because when you come into somebody's house, we're usually coming in right after our drain techs have gone in and cleared out the drains. So now they're flowing; they can at least use things, but they're still freaked out, because a lot of these people, we're seeing it a lot of times is with the house booming market, is people have just bought this house, maybe have been there for, I've seen a week before, and a sewer backs up in the entire home. And, there's people who, before I started this job, honestly, I never thought about it. You don't think of once you flush your toilet, it's gone. It's gone. I don't know. And you don't think about you're actually liable for a very expensive system if it fails. And just teaching that process to people and explaining to them that this is basically just a roof that you didn't know you had. This that it needs repairs. It's going to need adjusted, And you bought an older home. It had a brand new roof, but a lot of times they're not getting them inspected during the home buying process. So really it's just filling them in from point A to point B. We come in with the camera after the auger has been cleared out. We find a spot of access wherever it is in the home. We can fully camera the sewer line. The goal is to get from the home to the city sewer. So if I can't do that, neither can anything they're flushing. That's the easiest way for them to understand it. So really it's just being easy with them. You can't just walk in there and say, well, everything's it's a bad situation. Here's a big old sticker and you got to do it tomorrow. You got to kind of walk them through it and explain that at the end of the day, even if they don't do a full replacement, maybe they just, we can do a Band-Aid fix for a few years, get them by that, here's my card. It's got my cell phone number on it. Like, you're not going to be lost in the dark. You're going to be able to call us anytime. So, that's one thing I love about Jolly. It's being able to know that I have a company that stands behind everything that I say and that everything I put forward, it's going to happen.
That's awesome. Yeah. So tell us about like your normal job. You got to a sewer that is backed up. Drain tech's just been there, got the sewer unclogged. What are some solutions that you usually offer the customer in a normal situation?
We go from everywhere from, like I said, the Band-Aid solution. I always give them the very spot because, I don't have $10,000 in my bank account to throw at a sewer that I'm never going to see. That's not anybody, financially prepares for. So I think the biggest thing is just finding what the customer needs. So we start all the way from the very bottom. What can get you flowing today? Whether it was just the auger that worked and it got you flowing, but here's a permanent solution to make sure you're not going to back up again. We start with, the spot repairs all the way up to the full replacements. And then sometimes there's options where we can line the sewer, where we don't have to dig their yards up and we don't have to ruin this beautiful house that they're in. These landscaping jobs sometimes are more expensive than the sewer repairs. So, I feel bad when I find out the sewer's running through right under that beautiful magnolia tree they just planted 5 years ago or something. So.
Sure. Tell us about that sewer liner option. We've only been doing that a couple years now, but tell us about what that's like in your experience, in customers' experience with that.
It's science has changed the name of plumbing. It really has. Without where we are with this liner, it has really, it ensures that I can only dig up one singular spot in your home usually, and I can line your entire sewer, whether it be in your basement that you never use, it's a utility room you never see, or maybe it is in the front yard, and I only have to dig up a single square. It's not really that big of an issue when I'm not trenching an entire front yard. It just gives the customers a lot better option when they're not recouping the landscape and repairs and all that stuff at the end of the day. It's nice when I pull up to somebody's house and we line from the inside and I go, you'd never even know I was here.
Yeah.
And
man.
they look across the street and they just saw that they had their trench done and it's a mound of dirt or something.
Sometimes I think people don't realize what it's like when you dig up a sewer.
Yep.
It's like a bomb just dropped in the front yard, right?
Yep.
So the sewer liner, it's so convenient.
I tried to explain to people when we stand in the front yard with the husband and wife and I say, now come out here, guys. I said, this is beautiful. It's not going to look like this for a very long time. We're digging, sometimes 10, 13 feet deep. There's no way to make that ground go back the same exact way you took it out. It's like taking toys out of a toy box. You can't put them back in the same way you got them out.
Yep. Okay, so let's go back to you were maintenance guy at some apartments. Then you came on to Jolly, sewer advisor. What was the experience, the difference between what you expected working at a plumbing company as a sewer advisor and what it actually was like?
I think coming in, I expected. I've never been for like an actual full plumbing company, so you expect the butt crack plumber with the untightened shirt, and it's none of that here. It's a code of excellence almost that you have to carry, but it's in a good way. Everybody does it with a smile on their face, and we enjoy it. We do it because we all like to have a good name behind us, and we like to stand to good standards. So it was awesome, really, just coming in and seeing that. It was like an overnight switch of coming from some different companies I've worked for. It's just the morale around here. It's a no-brainer. You can look around to anybody, and everybody's happy, and if they're not happy, we're asking why. And that's the biggest thing. So. It's not a normal plumbing.
Talk about that, culture, people, we're here a lot. We want to make sure that we like what we're doing, right? So I think a lot of the time that we spend is making sure that people are enjoying their job,
right.
What's that experience been like for you, and what have you seen that Jolly does well to make sure we accommodate that for our employees?
I don't even know where to start, really. There's so many things but I would say it really bottles down to making sure that the employee's heard, making sure that they're felt recognized. You don't you do not feel like this is just a corporation. This is the most least corporation feeling company I've ever felt in my life. Like I feel like everybody's just a big family here, and we're all here to have a good job. You know what I mean? Have a good time. So it really is. It's every single person, from managers to all the way down to our, we've got our drain techs and people in our warehouse. Everybody is a key of just happy times. I mean, the personal life, and that's another thing, is Jolly really understands that it's not just work. They understand that people have personal lives, and I think a lot of companies get it twisted where it's just work, and that's why they lose people so badly. It's because they don't understand that these people have families. They've got lives to take care of. So I think Jolly understanding people's personal lives is really that's what's made Jolly amazing for me.
So we do a lot of company events. You come to most of them. Yep. What have been some of your favorite company events?
Christmas parties, it's always good stuff. Yeah, Christmas party's a good time. We all let loose, and you get to see the fun sides of some people's that sometimes are a little bit more uptight than usual, and it's a good time. It's good to see everybody let loose. That and the 4th of Jollies are always good. Pretty much all of our outings are great. I love the trunk or treats. I love the kids. That's a blast. That's always good too.
That's great, man. Okay, so you're been sewer advisor now for a couple years. You've even, in your short period of time, you've crushed it as far as, sales. I think you're up over $1 million almost already. Almost to $1 million, and we're just a little over halfway through. I mean, really have excelled, in just short period of time, which has been really cool. I think you've also seen like the new sewer liner, and what do you see that, like, even from before you were in the industry, but working in kind of in the field, and you saw some of that when you were at apartments. Like, what have you seen plumbing? How have you seen it change, and how do you see it continuing to change?
Really, I mean, it's technology, science and stuff is coming so long way. I mean, people with these, smart houses. I mean, we can almost make your plumbing system as smart as it gets. Like I love the snowbirds that leave for the winter, and I can tell them that, hey, I can give you a monitor. You can shut your water line off with your phone, and you can monitor water quality from your phone. I mean, you can, when the cleaner comes by and she forgot to shut a faucet off, you're going to know about it. I mean, these kind of things that it's really just the luxury and the access that customers can have to their plumbing, and lets them understand their plumbing a lot better. And they're not just looking at something, they don't know why it's dripping or why it's leaking. A lot of times they can get a device that's saying, that this has been leaking for days. You're losing water here and there. There's so many smart devices out there that, I mean, give it 20 years. I mean, you're going to talk to your faucet. I mean, it's
going to be crazy.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I know. Cool. All right. So we all have had crazy experiences in the trades.
Yep.
We're dealing with live water. We're dealing with poop. We're dealing with sewage. We're, give us some stories, man. What are some of the craziest or wildest things you've seen out there?
Luckily, in my position, I don't have to go right in. I'm not the bull getting the horns right, I'm not right away first in the door. Those are our drain techs, and God love them. They're amazing. I could not do what they do. I swear it. They deal with some stuff that I could not imagine. They usually can get it open and flowing by the time I get there. Really, the worst story, I've got a couple. I think one that you're going to remember was our first liner.
Oh, my gosh. I got PTSD when you said this liner you sold is blowing it back into the house.
Yeah, so, that will forever stick in my mind. His lazy boy that he specifically, when we were, bidding the job, he said, this is my baby. I sit in it every day. Nothing can happen to this. Plastic wrapped it while I was cameraing the home. And we learned it was our first liner. We didn't really know what we were doing. It was a test one. He knew he was the test subject, so he knew it. But yeah, that was.
And the part of the story that Shawn's not telling is first one we ever did. We have all the trainers there. We blow the sewer liner back into the house. Everybody celebrates. Like half the company's there, right?
Yep.
We're like, oh yeah, we did it. First sewer liner. This is amazing. It's like, let's go inside and check out the thing inside. What's it look like inside? Let's make sure everything's good. So we walk in there with the customer into the basement, and an absolute crap bomb it just went off in this basement.
Yeah.
And there was sewage everywhere. Sewage on this lazy boy that was this guy's like pride and joy. Sewage on the walls, sewage on the ceilings. I think to this day that was the sickest feeling I've ever had.
That's the whitest I've ever seen you.
It was absolutely sickening, horrible. I mean, we can laugh about it now.
Yeah.
We're able to get
Everybody's happy. Everything's been refurbished. Everything's been replaced. He's the happiest he can be. He's a lifelong Jolly customer. But
yeah. That was a situation where I think we were able to make a horrible situation and turn somebody into somebody who just loves Jolly because he recognized where we were at. He knew he was kind of the test subject. He knew we messed up, and we were like, man, we are going to take care of this 100%. We got our restoration team out there, and everything's good.
Yeah.
Got his lazy boy all refurbished, all good. But, man, you talk about miserable. I forgot that was very early on when you worked here, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was like my first year in. We had just got the liner, and we were so excited about it. And, I mean, like, again, we were just learning. So that was definitely one. But, like, that goes to show, I mean, that a good company, anybody can be a good company, but it's the companies that when they're bad that can show how good they can be is the ones that really matter. I mean, it's the turnarounds. It's everybody's going to have a bad day. Mistakes happen. But
yep, for
how
sure.
we handle them.
So you don't get many crawl spaces, do you?
I don't, but I mean, I also don't have a fear of it either. Like everybody's always afraid. I don't get that.
If you were like in a tight situation or you're in like a nasty basement or something, like is there like a critter that you're least like?
I mean, it's never good to feel something tickle in your ear because you don't know what it is. But I think once you know what it is, it's probably not that big.
Spider, like you're kind of cool with.
Yeah. It doesn't.
That's good.
Doesn't bug me too well. That's what Ronnie's always one that he's like, I'm not getting under there, and I'm like, give me, I'll go. Yeah, just get out of my way. So it's not that bad.
Well, dude, you have the thing. I used to be like this growing up. Like when you're one of the skinnier guys in the company, which you are kind of.
Yep.
It's like, hey, who can we get to fit in this small space under a crawl space? Oh,
yep.
Shawn, you want to go?
Every time. I've been asked multiple times by service, like, oh, I've got this job. We need to put you in this way. I said, we need to find a different way to get in it. I'm not climbing in there. No,
you need
sir.
to pack on some pounds so you're not a go-to
I tell
guy.
you what, that boy's coming. All right, and
Right.
the dad bod's gonna kick in. We'll be all right.
Yep.
We'll all right.
If you need any advice on how to build that dad bod, let me know.
Oh, too.
One of our values, don't hesitate to educate. I think you do a really good job of that. We talked about it a little bit, but explaining to customers, really, we deal with this every day. We know everything there is to know about sewers, but most people, like you said, you flush a toilet, it goes down, it's gone, you don't deal with it.
That's it.
So talk about like what you do and what your process is like to just educate the customer on what's going on.
Yeah. So the biggest thing is really finding out what their knowledge is first, because I hate to start to, I call it mansplaining it to them, and I love when I'll be into the house and explain, the sewer system, and I explain it to them like a colonoscopy. It's a lot of my customers have had colonoscopies, or their husband is they've had a colonoscopy. So explain it to them like that. We're starting at the mouth here. We're about to put the camera down the top, and they kind of understand. Trying to put into terms that they're going to understand. If your sewer's like a slip and slide, we should never see water. At the bottom of a slip and slide, there's water that's going to stop you. If we see water, it's going to be stopping things in the sewer. Just trying to break things into terms that they can really understand and that they can understand, that they can take back to them. Because any plumber can walk in there and give them all the technical terms, and nobody's going to take that home. They're going to look at the camera footage and go, I don't remember what he said to me. So really just breaking it down to them of what is their root cause, find their root cause. We have a locating device that once we put the camera down, we can pick it up where it is in the yard. So I can walk around with the customer. I usually let them take the locator, explain what they're looking for, and they have a blast with it. They'll be out in the yard in the wrong spot. I'm like, I had you over there, go back. And they're like, what? It's a good old time. So cool. Yeah, it just really, it lets the customer get engaged and understand their system and let them understand that, this is the heartbeat of your house. Your house, this was built before your house was. The sewers that are underground of these houses, they were put in before the home. So you've got to understand what you've got,
No doubt. So I think there's like a thing that you think about. Essentially, you're salesman for us. You're sewer advisor, sewer sales. You go in and you try to find the best solution. So,
right.
So we don't like using the word salesman because I think it gives a negative connotation. Yep. We want to give our customers options. We just want to find a solution. So that's really what you're doing. But the reality is, you're a sales guy. I think people think of a salesperson. They don't picture you.
No.
They picture hair slicked back, snake oil salesman, like somebody who's going to try to pull a fast one on them, right? I think that's really cool about you and really cool about the rest of our sewer advisors, sales staff, is really we're just like, you guys are just really good dudes who just want to do the best thing for the customer. I think that's kind of like the modern salesman, and you've been able to be very successful for the company and for yourself.
Yeah.
just by being a good person and being honest with people.
Yep.
You know, so just talk about that and what it's like to truly be a salesperson here.
Yeah, I mean, being honest, that when you said that struck me. It's just, I tell people all the time, I love working for Jolly because I get to be as honest as I can be, because we're not trying to ram down a repair and we got to get in here because we want it. I want you to need it. I want you to want it. I want you to understand why you need it and then make you want it. You know what I mean? You need to understand what you got going on. And it's just being able to be honest, especially like with our elderly crowds. It's not good. Some of the trade industry kind of went down for a little while there with their reputation. So it's, you see, it's almost like people are gun shy. Like they don't like.
Sure.
I've had people not let me into rooms before, and like, you mind if I check out this? I want to make sure I understand your whole system. I make sure I walk through the entire house. I'm looking up and down. I'm mainly supposed to be under down, but I want to make sure I got everything. So I've had them, not let me into different areas and stuff, and I'm like, are you okay? I promise it's all right. It's not a big deal. And they'll go down these stories of this person did this electrician did this, and it's like, whoa, you don't realize. I think it's just because like we have so many good people here that like it's not even a thought that it could happen. That like when you hear some of these stories, it's just like, man, like we're great. Like we got some good guys that I just know they wouldn't leave a customer like that. They just, whether they work for Jolly, or they're just in that house as their friend's house, they wouldn't leave a customer in situations that I've seen some people left in. So yeah.
What would you say is your favorite part about working at Jolly?
People. Yeah, that's pretty easy. Yeah, people are always great. I mean, you could have the worst day in the world and somebody's going to recognize it, because everybody knows you. Everybody gets to know everybody really closely. So we learn your personal, very, very deep into people. And it's when you come in and you're just a little bit off, we know. We know what's going on. You okay? And it's just that morale of just the family. It's awesome.
It's cool.
Yeah.
That's great, man. Well, yeah, man, like I said, you embody what it means to be a Jolly employee, man. Absolutely. Couldn't do it without you. Love what you've done. Short period of time, you're already like setting records in your department, just absolutely crushing. So looking forward to working with you for a long time, man. Appreciate it.